Hey guys, so today I wanted to make a video to show you how to install roof and gutter de-icing kit. It's basically keep the ice and snow off your eaves and stuff and keep your gutters from freezing up. And so it's good for different things like that. And what I wanted to show you is the cable. I wanted to show it to you installed on the house so you kind of get an idea of how to do it, what you're in for. I wanted to show you these thermostatically controlled devices. They basically energize your cable when it drops below 39 and turns off automatically at about 54 degrees. So when it's not terrible cold out, they don't turn on. So you can just kind of plug them in and forget about them. This is what the cable looks like here. And to give you an idea there, and that's what I'll talk about a little later in the video, is these two different kinds of clips that come in the box here. This is just my miscellaneous box of tools that I need. I have a drill gun with a 1/4-inch bit for taking the downspouts apart. You got to run it in the gutter, on the eaves, and the downspouts. And it has these clips to clip it on the shingles, which you'll see them in use later. Then it has these other kind, like when you got to space the cables or tie them to each other. And I'll kind of show how that all goes together. So my first thing that I do is take it all apart and stretch it out all the way out to get, you don't want any kinks in it. You don't want to scratch it up or get any nicks in the cable. So you want to stretch it all out, and then if there's any curls and stuff in it, it'll kind of work out as you're pulling it. So the first step you want to do is find an electricity source, and of course a GFI outlet is what you need, a ground fault protected outlet. I'll link to these in the video description below the video as well. And then this isn't like the perfect setup to get up to the eaves. Ideally you would put an outlet up there under the eaves, but for this particular case I'm replacing something that was already there. So I'm just running up the side of the house and up over the gutter there. Kind of depends on how far up the shingles you want to run, but to figure how much you need for an area like this, what I did is measure the roof edge, where I'm going to be doing the triangles, I call them, every 16 inches, and then figure out it's 28 inches to do 5 rows of shingles in my particular case. So I figured out that my triangles, if I go up and down one time, including my loops down here, it's 5.75 feet, 5 3/4 feet. So say this run, for example, there's that little roof there, but just this straight run was 28 feet long all the way down here. So I did that times 12 inches to turn it into inches, and then divided by 16 to find out how many up and down triangles you're going to have, and then take that times 5.75, and that gave me my footage. So I had to come up over there. You have to figure a little extra for wherever you got to come up, and then do the triangles, and then you got to figure if you have enough room, you got to figure going down the downspout and back up. So if, say my example, it was 12 feet down there, so I did 24 feet, and then you got to figure another 28 feet in the gutter to get back. You only have to have one run in the gutter. If you do have extra, you can always loop back and do 2. So that's just kind of how you figure it out. Sometimes if you have to do 2 runs, then you just do the gutter with one of them. Like the gutter and the downspout I'm doing with one of them, and I have a little extra, so I'm just going to leave it in the gutter here. And then I did the triangles on the eaves and up the valleys and stuff with the second run. So they come in all different feet, anywhere from I think 20, 40, 60, 80, 120, 160s, 180s, 200s, 240s. I think 240 is the longest you can get. So I'll include links in the video description below the video where I found this cable and the thermostatically controlled devices and everything that you need to do this if you're interested. So our house that I'm doing, there's all different kinds of roof heights and everything to think about. Like up there, I did one run, started in that far left corner, and then I did the triangles on the eaves up until the peak of that roof. Then I went down that roof there, and there's a gutter on the bottom with a downspout, so I did that, and I still had enough to come up over the peak and down the peak on this side. You can see a little bit, and then I was able to do the downspout and the gutters on this one. That took a 240 footer. So the next one, I started in the same corner, came through the gutter to the peak, and then I did triangles from there over, and then I went back in the gutter and came back, and I had just a little extra. So you have to just do it in a ways that you can figure out that will work with the footage that you need. Say for that roof, for example, over there, that little one, I did the eaves, then I went up the valley because it has a valley there, and then I did the gutters. Like I came back down the valley, did the gutters, did the downspout, came back up, came back in the gutter, came up over this little roof here, came down this side, and I did the eaves there, went up the valley, did the valley, and came back down and did the gutter and did the downspout. So just to give you an example, there's a lot of different things you got to think about. So this is how you run the heat tape up through the valleys. You run it up about 6 feet and loop and come back. Now it's not perfectly straight, but I just clipped it on where I could on the shingles. So these are 16 inches wide apart at the bottom, going down through there. And so you bring them up. I went up about 5 shingle widths, but you want to go about 2 feet or so. You can read your manual to be exact. And then what I try to do, I try to go where the shingles are 2 layers thick on these architecturals. You can see there's a single layer, there's a double. And where you have to go on a single, I recommend doing 2 clips because they hold better that way. So then you just want to snug them up. And what you do, put these clips in, put these other ones in, and bend them over. And then you run your cable down, loop it so you want it to stay up out of the gutter some. You loop it down about 4 inches or so, and then loop it back and clip it, and then run it up over the next one and back down. Just do that over and over again. And then one of the runs you have to gum in the gutter here. This doesn't show it the best because I'm not quite done here yet, but this was a leftover loop from this one over here. I just ran the excess inside the gutter here. And when you're running down through the gutter, you want to clip to these loops right here and then clip to the ones in the gutter. If you're doing a double in the gutter, then you have to space them like this. Never mind this one underneath here yet. Like I said, this is still one that I'm doing for a loop for the downspout. So I wanted to show you what you need to do for the downspout. So you have to see where your downspout is and measure it all the way down. This is kind of a weird one. Then what you do is figure out where the bottom is, and then you take this stuff and loop it like that. And then I put them pretty close together, every couple inches on the bottom. Then as you're coming up through, about every 6 inches. So there you can see it's all the way up to there. It's about 12 feet, this one here in particular. And I have to take the downspout apart some places to get it down through, but the idea is to get it all the way down to where it meets the ground. So that's how you do those ones. Maybe an example of what you have to do to get this stuff down the downspout. This is what I had to do. But this is kind of an extreme case maybe, because it goes in about 2 feet and then down to where that rock is, and then it kicks out and goes down. So there's lots of different places for it to hang up. So I had to take it apart there, take it apart back there, and I had to feed that all through first and then feed it down here. I took this all apart to make sure that it reaches all the way down here. So you want to make sure that it's going to reach all the way. And then, oh the joys, you put it all back together. That I would recommend if you're working up high on the eaves like that. It's a Werner Quick Click ladder stabilizer, and it keeps your ladder away from like your gutters and stuff if you set it up. I really like this thing. It's really easy to set up and really easy to use, and it makes your ladder stuff a lot safer. I just have this laying on the ground, but you can see kind of how that works right there, just like that. And some people call them bullhorns, some people call them ladder stabilizers. And anyways, I'll include a link in the video description for those too. I found that that is really helpful for safety and for keeping it away from the gutter so you don't damage the gutters.
Alright, thanks for watching this video. I do apologize that the video quality isn't the best. I shot it entirely on an iPhone 6. It was kind of spur of the moment. My better phone died. As you know, the iPhone 6 doesn't have image stabilization, so that's why the shakiness. I tried to take it out some in my video editor. It didn't all come out, but bear with me. I'm glad that you chose to watch this video, and I hope it was helpful to you. So leave me a comment, subscribe, let me know what's going on. I'm gonna try to keep adding more videos as I get a chance. All right, thanks for watching, guys.